If you line up the last 3 generations of flagship smartphones side by side, it's getting genuinely difficult to tell them apart. We've reached a point where the yearly upgrade cycle feels like a game of spot the difference, leaving a lot of people wondering if smartphone innovation has simply hit a wall. When the iPhone 18 Pro releases in September 2026, that visual trend is going to continue. The device is expected to keep the familiar premium design we've grown used to, maybe introducing a few subtle new color options along the way. So, if the outside looks the same, does that mean we're looking at another minor incremental spec bump? Not exactly. The static exterior is actually a deliberate misdirection. If you peel back the glass and look inside, the actual leap forward in this specific generation is entirely invisible to the naked eye. This shift suggests that the primary focus of development is moving away from the aesthetic and toward the complex, hidden systems that occupy the space beneath the display. The first major architectural shift happens millimeters beneath the screen. Apple is actively trying to reclaim display real estate by moving the security components required for Face ID entirely under the glass. By hiding those sensors, the physical footprint of the dynamic island can shrink significantly, giving you a much cleaner, uninterrupted view of your apps and media. Flipping the device over, the physical hardware inside the camera housing is getting a substantial upgrade. We're looking at a new triple 48-megapixel system that standardizes high resolution across the wide lens, the ultra-wide lens, and the telephoto lens. But the most significant mechanical change housed inside that camera bump is the addition of a variable aperture lens. Inside the lens, tiny mechanical blades open wider to allow more light particles to reach the sensor, improving low-light clarity. Conversely, constricting those blades physically narrows the opening, giving you optical control over depth of field to keep a subject in sharp focus while blurring the background. By integrating actual, moving mechanical parts into the lens housing, instead of relying on post-processing software filters, Apple is turning the handset into a professional optical tool. Moving deeper into the chassis, past the optics, we reach the logic board. Here, Apple is deploying its own custom-designed 5G modem. This networking hardware operates in tandem with physically larger batteries, particularly in the Pro Max models. The result is a more reliable network connection that demands less power to maintain, actively extending the daily lifespan of the device. Sitting right next to that modem is the central engine of the entire board, the new A20 Pro chip, which is paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM. What defines the A20 Pro is the way it's manufactured, utilizing a brand new process known as 2-nanometer fabrication. Nanometer sizing is the distance between transistors. By shrinking pathways and packing logic gates tightly, engineers fit billions more transistors into the same space. Since data pulses travel significantly shorter distances, the chip processes information faster while simultaneously losing far less energy as heat. Achieving this 2-nanometer scale pushes against the absolute physical boundaries of modern engineering, packing a level of computational density into the handset that previously required much larger hardware. But this raises a practical question. Why does a phone actually need the extreme computational overhead of a 2-nanometer chip and 12 gigabytes of RAM to run web browsers and messaging apps? The truth is, it doesn't. The sheer volume of hardware power isn't meant for standard applications. Instead, it is the required infrastructure to run the next generation of artificial intelligence built directly into iOS. Older AI models sent your data to massive cloud servers for processing. The iPhone 18 Pro uses on-device processing, executing tasks entirely on local hardware. This enables predictive interactions in milliseconds. Your voice assistant instantly references calendars and messages without waiting for remote server responses. Beyond speed, confining all of this computational work to the hardware solves a massive problem with data security. When your phone has the processing capacity to perform these tasks internally, your sensitive personal information never actually leaves your hand. The iPhone 18 Pro centers the value of the device on these internal logic systems. Progress is now measured by the speed of on-device thinking, energy efficiency, and the secure processing of personal data within the hardware itself.